Sunday night and you are exhausted. Why? You've been thinking about going to work tomorrow the entire day. And what happened? It zapped all of your energy. Why? Maybe you've got that one coworker who's always gossiping. You know that person? People walk in and out of rooms. Yap, 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 like a little chihuahua. Maybe you have a micromanaging boss. I know a lot about that topic. There's a podcast episode about it, as well as a blog post. I suggest you read it if you think you have a micromanaging boss or you are a micromanaging boss. Maybe you have a coworker who takes credit for all of your ideas. Or maybe anytime you speak and you try to have a conversation with somebody, they cut you off. You're not even one sentence in, and boom, they have a better, bigger, better topic to talk about, and it's all about them. And then you're left wondering, is it me? Or is this workplace toxic? And I'm telling you, I'm here for you to tell you it is not you. Your workplace is toxic. If you've ever felt drained, devalued, or downright disrespected at work, this episode is for you. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I am your host, Deirdre Haggerty, a certified career coach and founder of Coaching with Miss D, which offers life and career coaching to align your career with your values and life's vision. I am truly excited that you are joining me today to have a conversation, coffee in hand, as we chat about life, careers, relationships, and all little things that can shape who we are. I won't lecture you or tell you what to do. It's just the two of us in a coffee shop chatting about topics that make us laugh or drive us nuts, like a toxic work environment. Today, we're unpacking toxic behaviors in the workplace, what they look like, how to protect your peace, and how coaching can help you navigate them without losing yourself in the process. So grab your mug. Hopefully you bought yours from Coaching with Miss D and it says sip on this. Take a deep breath and let's sip on this. Toxic workplaces don't always start out toxic. Sometimes it's one person who destroys it. Sometimes it's the culture. Toxic behavior can look like, as I mentioned earlier, micromanagement. When your leaders don't trust you to do your job. Example. They watch you and monitor what you're doing from the overhead cameras. They constantly call you when they're off and tell you what to do and remind you, do this, do that, do this, do that. And you're just like, it's your day off. Why are you calling me? Gossip and clicks. That high school energy that drains team morale. We'll start with gossip. Like I mentioned earlier, the little chihuahua that likes to shit talk about every single person in the facility where you work. It is exhausting. You try to walk away, but you know that feeling when you're walking into a room and everybody gets quiet? Yeah, that's your gut. You know what you're walking into. And then there's the clicks. I worked in a place where I managed, and the front end and the back end needed each other, but they hated each other. And it was horrible to navigate through that, to make them understand that they needed each other when all I wanted to do was clean house, but I couldn't. Then there's passive aggression. You know, those backhanded comments that leave you doubting yourself. And it could be something silly, like, you're wearing that shirt again? Why do your flowers look uneven like that? And you're like, what do you care? I mean, maybe you don't say anything, but in your head, it's like, why do you even care? Then there's sabotage. Oh, sabotage. I love sabotage or gaslighting when somebody's twisting facts to make you look bad or to keep themselves from getting into trouble and they're using you as the scapegoat. So, what's the real test? How do you feel after these interactions? If you constantly feel anxious, if you're second guessing yourself and letting those silly comments interfere with how you're feeling, or if you dread those meetings, your environment is undoubtedly toxic. And here's the truth. There is no paycheck that is worth your peace of mind. Now, I am not saying quit your job. That's it. Leave your job right now. No, there's a couple of different things that you can do, and I'm going to go through those. One of those is how a career coach can help you. Another thing is getting your resume updated, your LinkedIn profile, and start searching for jobs. My suggestion would be to find a job before you leave this toxic environment. How do toxic environments impact you? Well, for one, toxicity does not stay at the office. It just doesn't. I used to like to think it's easy to leave things there, but when it's that bad, it really does follow you home. And you might not talk about the job, but you might notice poor sleep. You're just dwelling about the nonsense that you had to deal with that day. Or like I mentioned earlier, the Sunday night anxiety. I know it. I felt it. That Sunday night, I used to love Sundays. Or I do. I do love Sundays. Now I do. But I used to love them before I was working in an industry that no longer served me. And then I made my switch to what I'm doing now. And I love Sundays for football and for going to my mom's for dinner. And in the summer, going to the beach with my husband. And then I got to the point where I dreaded Sundays, like dreaded them. I didn't want to meal prep. I didn't want to do the laundry. I didn't want to have any of that stuff done. Not because I didn't like doing those things. Well, laundry, maybe not, but because I didn't want to go to that job the next day. And maybe you're listening to me like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. I would snap at my loved ones. Maybe you're doing the same thing. In the morning before you go to work or when you come home from work, leave me alone. Or, somebody says something and you just boom, right at them and you don't even understand why. They didn't say anything. It's you because you're taking all of this pressure and you're taking it out on other people. Maybe you're losing motivation or confidence. No job should zap your confidence. And if you're losing motivation, well, if you're working in a toxic place, can you blame yourself? You are not motivated to help a company make money when this behavior is causing you so much stress. Your brain then starts associating work with threat. You go into survival mode. It's the fight or flight instead of a growth mode. And that's what's causing you stress. And then over time, that will impact your health, your happiness, and your career growth. But here's the shift. Recognizing it is step one. You can't change what you don't name. Own it. Let's work through 5 strategies to help you navigate toxicity. So, what do you do when you're surrounded by toxic behavior? First step, observe it. Do not absorb it. Observe it. Do not absorb it. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the behavior, and the behavior is coming from that person. Stay grounded. If it's directed at you, document everything. Document the facts. Whether it's when you get home, type yourself up emails, put notes in your phone on your break. Document the facts, not the feelings. The fact, not the feelings, okay? So if you witnessed a conversation and you overheard what you heard, not how the conversation made you feel, but if somebody said something very specific, document it. Keep notes of all the interactions, especially if you feel you might need to escalate this later. Step 2, set boundaries. You need to understand, you cannot control other people. I'm going to say that again. You cannot control other people. And I'm going to recommend Mel Robbins' Let Them theory so you understand that you cannot control other people. Let them. What you control is your reactions. And let me control access to you. Limit your emotional exposure to these people, to this behavior. Keep those conversations brief and professional. On my last episode, where I was discussing journaling, I was at a toxic place, and I was writing every morning in my daily intentions. I found myself writing, I am professional, because I was around all these unprofessional people. And then once I read my journal, I said, what am I doing? I knew I could not stay at that place any longer. So keep your conversations brief and professional. They do not need to know your personal business. Don't tell them. Step 3, build allies. Okay, so this is a difficult one. You need to find supportive coworkers or mentors. Sometimes one positive person can shift the energy in a team. But you're not building an ally to shit talk other people. Okay? You're not building an ally to talk negatively about other people. That's going to backfire you. You're not building an ally to hurt other people. You're just trying to find strength in yourself by having supportive coworkers or mentors who see the job that you're doing and that you're doing a good job. Don't focus on the negative. Focus only on the positive. Step 4, know your exit strategy. I mentioned that earlier. If the environment does not improve, and chances are it might not, because if it's a smaller business where the business owners are constantly involved, then chances are that toxic behavior is coming from them, unless they don't know what's happening. But if the environment doesn't improve, remember, you have options. You always have options. Sometimes walking away is the most powerful boundary of all. And this is where coaching comes in. This is what I mentioned earlier. And listen, if it's not me, there are so many coaches out there. Let it be someone else. But coaching can 100% help you. It helps you rebuild your confidence after toxic experiences, because, you come home, you leave that place, and then let's say you leave, but all of those experiences, you're ruminating over it. It's like, this person said this, is this true? And maybe it's not, but well, maybe I shouldn't have left. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have. Now, you know what? Don't do that. And that's where a career coach can help. Rebuild your confidence. Learn communication tools that diffuse conflict. There are so many things that a career coach can teach you on how to diffuse conflict, so that if you find another job and you come in contact with people like that or behaviors like that, now you have tools to diffuse the conflict. Career coach can help you clarify what you want next. A transfer, a new job, maybe just a mindset reset. You do not have to navigate workplace toxicity alone. A coach can help you see patterns, break cycles, and move forward with clarity. I once coached a woman who said, I thought I was the problem. I completely understood and empathized with what she was talking about because I've been there too. Her manager constantly criticized her ideas, left her out of meetings, and questioned her decisions. Through coaching, she realized she wasn't the issue. She was in a toxic environment that didn't value her voice. So, what did we do? We worked on boundaries. We reframed her mindset. And we built her an exit plan. 6 months later, she landed in a new company that celebrated her leadership. And she also walked away knowing how to be a better leader because of how she was treated. Sometimes it's not about fixing yourself. It's about freeing yourself. How do I know so much about this topic? I've experienced it in one capacity or another as an employee and a manager. When I started to write, I'm a professional in my daily intentions. Like I said, I knew it was time to leave. I was leaving the industry anyway, and I knew it was time to work on myself and figure out what I truly wanted to align my goals of life and career. So, that is it for today's chat on Sip on This. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your coffee with me. If something resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so you don't miss future conversations. Remember, healing from toxic workplaces takes time, awareness, and self-compassion, and it's not you. You deserve to work in a space that values, uplifts, and respects you. And if you're ready to reclaim your confidence, set new boundaries, and build a career aligned with your values, Coaching with Miss D can help. Visit coachingwithmissd.com to learn more about one-on-one sessions or book a free consultation. Please, also, I'd love for you to leave a comment, and I hope I gave you something to reflect on today. Until next time, keep sipping and growing, stay grounded, and protect your peace. And remember to live your life as your authentic self, your version, no one else's.